I never expected that one decision in battle, one small, reckless decision, would follow me across the stars for the rest of my life. Years ago, during the Great Rift War, I had stumbled into a situation that no human was meant to survive. The alien queen of the Veylani, a species feared across multiple sectors for their ruthlessness and cunning, was pinned down by enemy forces. Everyone else on my fleet had orders to avoid her, considering her a high-value but untouchable target. But I didn't care about orders. Something about her, her presence, her authority, her sheer intensity, made me act. Saved her. I remember the heat of the battlefield, plasma fire streaking across the void of the shattered war zone, and the moment I carried her through the chaos. Her tail lashed dangerously close to the flames, her eyes glowing with a fierce mix of fear and surprise. "Human," she had whispered in her melodic, commanding voice. "Why?" I didn't answer. There was no time. I only ran. That was the last I saw of her, until now. Beginning, an unexpected message. It started as a routine transmission. "Human," the message began, its tone formal yet laced with a weight I had never heard before. "I request your presence. The matter concerns a debt from the past." The signature was unmistakable. Queen Vyrelia of the Veylani. I stared at the holographic message, heart hammering. Years had passed. So many human fleets had fought, lost, or vanished in the intervening conflicts. I hadn't expected to hear from her, let alone in such a direct and commanding tone. Curiosity and dread waged a silent battle inside me. Did she want vengeance? A reward? Or something else entirely? Against my better judgment, I set course for the coordinates embedded in the message. A hidden moon in the Akra Belt, one of the least charted regions of the galaxy. Middle reunion on the hidden moon. When my ship pierced the dense atmosphere of the moon, I saw the fortress she had chosen for our meeting. It floated above the barren surface like a black crown, glimmering with blue energy fields. The docking bay opened smoothly as if it had been expecting me, and there she was. Vyrelia stepped from the shadows, her form taller and more regal than I remembered. Her scales shimmered with a deep violet hue, lined with gold streaks that pulsed faintly as if in time with her heartbeat. Her eyes that had once reflected fear, now held a calculating warmth. "You came," she said simply. "I got your message," I replied. "It's been years." She inclined her head. "And yet, I remember every moment. Every choice you made on that battlefield. Every risk you took. Human. You saved me when no one else would." Her words made my chest tighten. I had thought that act long buried in the rubble of memory and war, unimportant compared to the countless decisions I had made since. Yet here she was, reminding me that some deeds echo across lifetimes. Why now?" I asked. Her eyes softened, almost imperceptibly. "The war ended. The debts you incurred are finally coming due. I have returned to honor them." Danger and diplomacy. It wasn't just a ceremonial reunion. Her moon fortress was under constant threat from rogue factions, remnants of enemies who had not accepted the peace treaty. I was brought in as her human advisor, not merely because she remembered me, but because she trusted me in ways that few others ever had. The first night we walked the ramparts. The twin moons of Akra bathed the barren landscape in pale light. "You should not be here," I muttered. "This is dangerous territory." "And yet you came," she replied, her voice teasing but firm. "Because you understand the stakes. Because you do not hesitate when lives hang in the balance." I shrugged, embarrassed. "I didn't do it for glory." Her laugh was soft, musical, completely uncharacteristic for a queen whose word alone could command an army into battle. "No, You did it because something inside you recognized life worth saving. Something noble. Before I could respond, alarms blared. A rogue fleet had breached the outer defenses. Vyrelia moved with the speed and precision I had remembered from our first encounter. She was a force of nature, orchestrating defenses with flawless command. I found myself at her side, repairing energy nodes, redirecting shields, and marking enemy positions. Every move was synchronized as if we had fought together countless times before. During a pause in the fighting, I glanced at her. Vyrelia was surveying the battlefield, her tail flicking in controlled anticipation, her violet-gold scales gleaming under the moonlight. "Human," she said quietly. "Yes. You have changed," she observed. "Not in skill, you have grown stronger, but in your presence. You no longer hesitate in the face of fear." I swallowed. "I learned from you." Her eyes met mine. For a moment the chaos fell away. "And I learned from you," she whispered. "The debt of a life saved." After repelling the rogue fleet, we stood on the central balcony of the fortress. Vyrelia's guards were discreetly positioned, giving us privacy. The tension of battle had faded, leaving a charged silence between us. "I owe you everything," she said finally. "My life, my reign, my survival. Human, I have returned to repay my debt." "I don't want you to owe me anything," I said, trying to keep my tone light. "I only did what anyone should have done." She shook her head, a slight smile curving her lips. "No one else would have. And now the moment has come. The debt is no longer abstract. I ask you to stand beside me, not as a soldier, not as an ally, but as someone who shares in the fate of my people." Her hand extended toward me. There was no formality, no ceremony, just the raw trust and expectation of someone whose life I had saved and who now wanted me by her side. I hesitated. Could I accept such responsibility? Could I live up to the loyalty, the bond, the unspoken promise that she was offering? "Yes," I said finally. "I'll stand by you. Always." Her eyes softened further. "Then the future is ours to shape." Ending. A future forged together. Weeks passed. I remained on the moon, working alongside Vyrelia to rebuild her defenses and stabilize her realm. Our connection deepened, not just as allies but as friends, confidants, and something more. She taught me about her people's history, their code, and their culture. Lessons I never could have learned in a textbook. In turn, I introduced human technology innovations, blending them with Veylani warcraft to create something unprecedented. One evening, as we watched the twin moons rise over the plateau, she looked at me with an expression I would never forget. "You saved me once," she said. "But now you have chosen to stay. That is worth more than any life debt. That is the choice that defines us both." Smiled. "Then let's make sure it was worth it." Her hand found mine. Her scales brushed against my skin, and for the first time, I truly understood the depth of trust and gratitude that transcended worlds, species, and even time itself. The alien queen I had rescued long ago had returned, not just to repay a debt, but to forge a future. And together we would face whatever the galaxy had in store. For the first time I realized that some moments, some choices, echo far beyond a single lifetime. And some bonds once formed are unbreakable, even by the void of space itself.